Hello Sagittarius, this is going to be your April 2021 forecast using the tarot deck. I will also use an oracle and astrology in this video to channel even further cosmic guidance for your month ahead. So let's get right into these cards. Sagittarius, how I will structure this reading is by looking at past energies, what has just been going on with Sagittarius. Then we'll look at what's coming up presently, going into the future, end of the month into the following. I'll show you those cards then and we'll pull more to clarify, but let's just get right into pulling some cards. What's been going on with Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising? Okay, so we've got the Hierophant, but it is in reverse. So let's see, we've got the Six of Wands. Oh, so you've kind of been breaking norms, I think, Sagittarius, and kind of trailblazing. Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter ruled, your planetary ruler, Sagittarius. So yeah, like you've been breaking barriers and boundaries and kind of breaking with tradition and the mold, I think. Let's see, let's go and pull a couple more cards for the present energies coming up around Sagittarius for the month of April before getting into these cards. Okay, so coming up in the present for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, if you know your rising sign, check the video for that out because I will start using some astrology in these videos, and the rising sign position is where I read it from. So that's going to be more applicable astrology-wise to the rising sign. We've got the Hermit card coming up for April. Soul searching and reflection, the Ten of Wands, which is Saturn in Sagittarius energy. So reflecting on what you can't really carry or take with you anymore, what's becoming too much maybe, Sagittarius. And then we've got the Universe card as well, which is sometimes known as the World card in some decks. Okay, so I actually feel like relationship-wise for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, there's been a lot of focus for whatever reason. Some maybe even conflict in the month of March for Sagittarius rising in particular, some conflict around relationships. We've had Mars transiting through Gemini, your sister sign Sagittarius rising in your 7th house of relationships. So Mars can put some extra focus and like reason for strife around our relationships, but I think it's improving. Okay, so look, there's a couple of cards came out. I'm going to take these for the future. So we've got the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, the Hanged Man in reverse. And let me just pull one more card for coming up in the future energies for Sag. And then I'll start getting right into these cards that we have now that we have them laid out. So one more card coming up for the future energies. We've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, so things kind of get a little bit emotional, I think, towards the end of April going into May for you, Sagittarius. Let's take this back for a second. So you've been on some sort of a hustle and it's going really well. Six of Wands, Lord of Victory, Sagittarius. There's like some fire in your belly at the moment, and it's something that had been like once thought of as to be like super conservative or traditional. You were able to like break that tradition. It could have been like to do with something in your family line, and even it could be just like breaking generational curses, Sagittarius, like the black sheep of the family vibe. I'm seeing like you speaking out about the way this has always been done, the way we've always done things in the company or in the university or the establishment you're a part of. You're like kind of you breaking with establishment, acting anti-establishment, and like following your own path, paddling your own canoe, like very much on your own lane. So it's kind of this live and let live vibe that Sagittarius are known for anyway. Wheel of Fortune, live and let live. Kind of, you know, if that's how somebody wants to live their life, you might not fully agree with it, but more power to them. And that's just kind of keeping you in your own lane and, you know, minding your own business. I think in March, Sagittarius, you're like, oh, when I mind my own business, I want to speak out on certain things, but it just kind of leads to more synchronized flow. And the Wheel of Fortune, you might have felt like at the end of March, like things were starting to look up for you. Things were starting to become more optimistic. You see more movement. You could have gotten like a go ahead with something. So last month in March, it looks like it ended with some like fortune, or like not fortune in the kind of literal sense, but like kind of fortuitous kind of movement, upward swing rather than like things worst case scenario panning out. I feel like some of you are kind of ambitious right now and have been in March, Six of Wands, and you're kind of eager to kind of do things a little bit differently, act a little bit more radically, the Hierophant in reverse, okay? So for the month of April, what are the bigger themes coming up? Okay, so it becomes a bit more serious in April, I think. So we've had the kind of like the ingenuity, the passion, the desire, the will to act in March. And you know what? The universe was supporting that. As fate would have it, it seemed like things started to become seeming like they were more fitting into our destiny. And, you know, things were just happening for us in March that looked like they were even destined events or fated events. Come April, it's like we have to start now responding to the destined events of the month before, or how we've risen or fallen to the destiny or the fate, or what just sort of seemed like it was presenting to presenting itself to us last month, Sagittarius. So things get serious. We have to look at it properly. We have to examine everything that had been going on as of late for us and figure out what it meant for us, figure out if it seemed like it was in alignment for us. So basically do some soul searching, and you're really going to be thinking long and hard this month. You're going to be thinking long and hard, I think, about what you can delegate, what you don't have to actually keep doing. You think that you have to take on all this responsibility yourself. 10 of Wands, Lord of Oppression. So that's where it gets to when we take on too much. The 10th wand was just one too many, and it was became an uphill battle for us, really carrying everything, juggling everything that we're currently doing right now. So April might be a wise decision to take a load off, but also be very sensible about what you are sacrificing. You know, you're not just giving up things that need to be done. You can be smarter about it, Sagittarius, and there is something that's just not needed for you to do that's actually draining you way more than it's bringing in flow for you, or like, you know, that it's bringing you in any sort of an advantage here. The World card, the Universe card in this deck, last card in the tarot, so that is like wrapping up larger cycles in our life. Sometimes it might feel ceremonial, sometimes we might feel like, you know, we're moving from one location and work, one team to another, and it's like a rite of passage. We've been with this team for so many years, so something kind of like that, along those lines, completing something, finishing something, wrapping things up. But both of these cards, you know, the 10s in tarot are the end of the cycle, the last number. The World. So the World card, this is like Wheel of Fortune is the card of destiny and fate, and then the other thing that is possible for us is choice and free will, of course, and that's the World card. The world is our responses, how we react to the world around us, how we've reacted to the fated events and destiny. So we're seeing in April how we've risen and how we've fallen, but overall we'll clear this up. But I overall think you're getting very serious and grounded about things and things just need your attention more in April. It's not so much fun and games, Sagittarius. It is applying what you've learned recently. So things are looking like they're taking more of a possibly murky, emotionally confusing turn by the end of the month. So there's some sort of a weight around things and some sort of a suspension I'm seeing too. If some of you have extended an offer or opened your heart in terms of like hoping to get like a feedback from a person, a friend, an ex, or somebody that you're like looking for forgiveness from, or you've kind of just opened the lines of communication, whereas before they might have been like pretty stagnant. Hanged Man in reverse, and the Queen of Cups, like there was some sort of a real sense of dealing with the person at the end of this month, Sagittarius, where you find like there's a real barrier between you, emotional barrier, a wall up. Somebody is deep in their feelings by the end of this month, deep in their feelings. I'm thinking like some of them feel like they're even like drowning in a sea of emotions by the end of the month, Sagittarius. If it's yourself that is kind of failing to, you're so stuck in some sort of a situation with somebody, but there's like a lack of understanding between both of you. There's a lack of maturity on both sides, I'm seeing, resulting in like not being able to understand each other and just ultimately not underseeing the other person's point of view, not gaining any of the perspective that is usually awarded to somebody when the Hanged Man is upright. You're blocking something out. Let's clear these up, but before we do so, I'm going to show you these cards now, and then I am going to have a look at some clarifiers and an oracle card in the meantime. Okay, Sagittarius, so you can have a look at these while I decide I'm going to ground again and pull an oracle deck. So this is the Chinese goddess of compassion, Kuan Yin, and I'm going to take this as a message from Sagittarius's highest, most compassionate self to them. Okay, here we go. So we've got Blossoms of the Sky Danger. Blossoms of the Sky Danger, which is number 3 in this Kuan Yin oracle, and I'm going to read this for you. So number 3 today for Sagittarius. So what we have here is a little message from Kuan Yin. So let me see now. Kuan Yin dances creative energy and light across the sky, causing blossoms to descend. In the same way, when we tap into our spiritual power of creation, we cause our life and all of life around us to bloom. Creation is a natural spiritual power within you, beloved. Force can slow down the process. It is time to stop striving to allow your manifestation to occur. Let go and trust and allow your creation to flow. So it's like something is happening for you right now, Sagittarius, whether or not you're fully conscious of it or not, I think that was saying. And so like this is basically about slowing down now in April. All your hard work and hustle is done. You really did break the mold and like kind of push through some big barriers in your life. Wheel of Fortune, this is the Lord of the forces of life. So that force, exactly, and Lord of Victory. Both of these cards, usually the Six of Wands is like somebody on a horse as if they're coming in from a victorious battle. So we do see that like your hard work has been done now. Allow things just to flow, and when the timing is right, you will see the results of what you had been manifesting and working really hard to kind of do and around to create. Let's clear up this first row here. Hierophant in reverse, the Six of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Clearing up the first row. Nine of Swords, which is Mars in Gemini, which is what we have going on now. I'll talk to you a little bit about that then, Sagittarius. And then we have the Justice card. For some of you, you are feeling extremely worried about a Taurus or a Libra in your life right now. For some of you, you actually kind of maybe feel guilt around a situation where you won out. They might have been somebody that you had beat out for a promotion, a job. You kind of overshadowed this Libra or Taurus, and for some reason, Sagittarius, you're feeling still kind of racked by guilt over taking their light away. If that's not what this is about, I can see that for some Sagittarius risings in their relationship recently, there has been kind of a bit of strife and a bit of drama there as Mars in Gemini transit Sagittarius's rising 7th house of partnerships and relationships. But ultimately something was won out, and there was like a kind of a battle of opinion or a battle of wits or something. But this could be around breaking traditions in terms of, are we going to get married in such a traditional way? And there was like some sort of a differences of opinions about what is the right way to do something. And I see a sense of like in terms of relationships breaking some traditional molds and whatnot. I also do see like that for some of you, all this success of the month in the month of March, Sagittarius, all of this movement now that's happening, that's kind of coming in as to say that like some of you are starting to feel like unworthy or undeserving of the abundance that you're receiving. Some are even just really worried right now and worrying, like up in bed at night, even losing sleep about this kind of worry, that you're just not getting what you deserve right now. You're just desserts, and that's what's causing still a lot of stress. But like this oracle card said, it said something about trusting in the flow, and like things are happening underneath the in the undercurrent of what's going on, Sagittarius. Let's look at the Hermit, the Ten of Wands now, and the Universe card. So yes, definitely things taking more of a serious tone in April, and you're maybe starting to be having to take on more responsibility this month, work a little harder. Some of you are working too hard though, and like, you know, burnout is indicated and needing to like end something. Let's clear up these cards. Ending of a cycle, another indication of that. 10 of Swords, another 10. And the King of Swords. Those of you who are dealing with an Aquarius or a Virgo, you're at your wit's end with this Aquarius or Virgo in your life. There's really not much more you can do with them, and there's certainly nothing you can do with them to change their mind. They're like, you know, you're only kind of like torturing yourself really if you keep trying to do that with them. They're extremely rigid. I can see that. We interestingly have got the 9 of Swords progressing to the 10 of Swords from March into April. Yeah, not great, you know. That is kind of like when we're allowing the worries of in the 9 of Swords, like really manifest and, you know, take over, take control basically, until we reach the point of sometimes even a breakdown. Fortunately though, there can be breakthrough coming through with this energy, with the King of Swords as well, like that we're reaching the end on something mentally, and if it's not a breakdown and can't deal with this anymore, we're breaking through and we're kind of getting to the other side of it. So that's what's coming up for me. But the indication is then to avoid any like breakdown or breaking point energy indicated sometimes with the 10 of Swords. Look carefully in April is the advice of the Hermit. Look at what you need to do to allow yourself to have more freedom, to not be carrying such a weight, Sagittarius, to not be carrying such a heavy load. Where can you delegate? Where can you ask for assistance or help? See, before it gets to 10 of Swords, maybe we can take a load off in the 10 of Wands. The Universe, it does tell me that you have the option now to put something to bed, to end thing, to finish something off successfully, something that you can be proud of. Endings aren't always easy, but I think it's something that may be coming up for you that you can put to bed now, on any level, big or small, that you'll, you know, ultimately feel better and more liberated about. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, either Sagittarius right now, that's just like extremely rigid and causing kind of a lot of stress in your life right now. That's what I would say. And you know, that is putting it mildly, actually, I would say. Let me see about this for this upcoming row then. So end of April going into May, what is this situation it's more of an emotional nature. It could be dealing with the water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio by the end of the month in a bigger way. Let me look at these cards coming up for the end of the month. King of Pentacles. There's a lot of people in the mix by the end of the month. And the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, there certainly is a lot of people. I'm going to say 5 people. And I'm going to say there's 5 people by the end of the month for some. Like it could be a group project with 5 people on it, like you being the 5th, group of friends, siblings, an issue with 5 people is coming up really strongly for me for some. If not, it's just a hectic group around you, lots of different opinions, very strong personalities. chiming in here and there with different opinions. It could escalate. So let's see, what do we have going on with this emotional situation? It's all emotion. That's what I'm going to say. It's all like, you know, feelings, and it has to be grounded. So I feel like there are, I think there could be, like, I'm seeing two parent energies with the King and Queen of Pentacles. I'm seeing like even maybe just a business partnership that's really solid here. If it is a parent unit, really solid. If it's a married unit, really solid too. There is a lot of other moving pieces here, and people that are emotionally immature around you, people having issues around you. Some of them are like kind of just like really spiral. People around you seem like they're spiraling or feeling really down, but this is an indication that there are like tools here for you to ground things, and there are mediators or people that are able to soothe things out. Could be parents, could be like higher management or HR. This could be something like that. It could even be like if you're looking for financial assistance, like getting a loan or something like that. This is looking more supportive, like that there is like resources available, King and Queen of Pentacles. And for some, these resources are actually closer to home than you may think, if that makes sense to you. Sagittarius, that is going to be your reading for April 2021, the forecast for this month ahead. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please feel free to hit subscribe. I'm going to be bringing out a purely love and relationship reading for your sign next week, Sagittarius. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. Bye.